When it comes to us Zelda fans, the wait for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 can be a bit strenuous. But hey, we weathered something worse. Remember the days of Zelda Wii U? Although the landscape was a bit different back then, it was something that we had to deal with, especially given that Zelda games are infamously known for delays. We remember the days of Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and of course the original Breath of the Wild, which had its first release year revealed as 2015. And then as the story goes, 2016 and then finally 2017. When it comes to the case of Breath of the Wild 2, we have not been given an official year yet. But if you know me, I'm a strong advocate for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, Zelda 20 in 2020 this year. And I still am, kinda. But of course, on speculating when it comes to 2020, I can't rule out and be ignorant of the other possibilities, especially that of 2021. And given certain complications that have arisen, and the information as well as the lack of information, it's a big possibility that Breath of the Wild 2 could be released in 2021, and some of us have to come to terms with that. Hey guys, it's HMK once again with another Breath of the Wild 2 video, keeping that hype fresh and alive directly to your screen. Although I'm still pulling for 2020, and I believe it'll still make a lot of sense, we can't ignore the sense that 2020 would make as well. With that being said, be sure to like the video and subscribe as I post Zelda content every week. I'm gonna ask you to strap on in for the safety of hype. Let's dive directly into the noise. So when it comes to Breath of the Wild 2, everyone remembers that we've had the first and only trailer so far revealed at E3 2019, and that's how Nintendo ended off their show, with a gigantic explosion of hype, a direct sequel to one of their best recent games. And of course, the theories and speculation fly. And although we did get some official information every now and again, as more time passed, the lack of information and obviously trailers became more and more apparent. And during moments in which we believed we would get another trailer, such as the Game Awards 2019 and the most recent Nintendo Mini Direct, even though it wasn't so many, we are still left in the dark. Which of course is troubling when we're thinking about when this game is going to release, but also it encompasses the entirety of Nintendo's lineup going into 2020 and even 2021. And of course, with all highly anticipated games, we've come to the point where I wouldn't say we rely on, but we do consider every rumor when it comes to a supposed trailer that Nintendo is apparently sitting on, as well as other bits of information that we, of course, have to take in with a grain of salt. But that's kind of hard, given that the situation with E3 2020 this year looks pretty grim, pretty much non-existent. As not only is the physical event cancelled, but very recently, the ESA have confirmed that E3 in name will not take place online either, contradicting earlier reports. Although they did confirm they will continue to work with developers in bringing a showcase of what they have in store to the online masses, but it looks like it's going to be in a more individual capacity. And come around the time when E3 was supposed to happen, that would be 1 year in which we didn't get any Breath of the Wild 2 information or trailers. And of course, we have to address the elephant in the room with the current state of the world, which is the reason why E3 got snapped out of existence this year. Now, of course, logically speaking, that can impede potential development of games, including that of Breath of the Wild 2. But given that many developers have confirmed that they are continuing to work from home, including that of Masahiro Sakurai, when it comes to the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC, one can assume that Eiji Aonuma and his team might be doing the same. But of course, that's only one piece of the puzzle when it comes to Breath of the Wild 2 potentially coming out in 2021. And that comes out with the huge explosion of the Mario report when it comes to the Nintendo Switch. You've probably heard it by now. Pretty recently, many reputable sources have stepped forward in saying that Nintendo plans to do a huge Super Mario, in terms of 3D games, explosion on the Nintendo Switch in order to help celebrate the 35th anniversary of the plumber himself when it comes to the franchise of Super Mario. That apparently Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are all coming to the Switch remastered, as well as Super Mario 3D World Deluxe. And of course, apparently a new Paper Mario game in development. And when thinking about that whole shebang when it comes to the Super Mario 35th anniversary, you would think that Nintendo would want to prioritize and focus on these games specifically in order to come out for the Switch, not to be overshadowed by what is going to be probably a gigantic game such as Breath of the Wild 2. But there have been times where video games from both Zelda and Mario have coexisted in the same year. I mean, look when the Nintendo Switch launched. Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey released in that same year, albeit months apart. But then again, there have been moments in which they have been a year apart. Look at the Wii when it comes to Super Mario Galaxy 2 and Skyward Sword, with Galaxy 2 coming out in 2010 and Skyward Sword coming out 2011. So when it comes to the Mario and Zelda anniversary speak, Zelda's anniversary next year is the 35th anniversary, while this year is Mario's 35th anniversary. The original perspective and tangent that I was going off of was that Breath of the Wild 2 could release this year, 2020, and then next year, 2021, which is going to be Zelda's 35th anniversary, they can go forth and explode with Zelda merch and celebrations off the heel of this big new release and the entire series in general. The game would have been out a year prior, the story and characters already established, so they wouldn't have to dodge spoilers or anything like that, and just go forward with a bunch of awesome stuff that you can get to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the whole series and the newest game, such as books just like Creating a Champion, toys and figures such as Figmas, and of course celebration in other video games such as, I don't know, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. They have to establish the hype and then follow up on a huge way the next year. But it's looking like the other logical aspect of this is that Nintendo is moving forward with celebrating Mario's 35th anniversary this year and probably going to explode with Breath of the Wild 2 next year, given that is Zelda's 35th anniversary. Especially since rumor has it and the reports are saying that the original plan for Nintendo's E3 was to focus on this huge Mario blowout. But none of that has been confirmed yet. So when it comes to whatever Nintendo had planned for E3 2020 this year, they could still showcase it around the time of E3 this year. You know, the summer, June. And given that I want to assume that Nintendo has learned from their mistakes, I doubt that Breath of the Wild 2 will not be brought up during that time. So I'm sure that we're inbound for another trailer around the summer. And given that very recently Nintendo's been very weird in revealing the release dates of announced games very close to the actual release date. I mean, look at the original Breath of the Wild. The release date got revealed in January of 2017, literal months before the March 2017 release. And of course, who can forget Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, when Nintendo revealed it in March of 2018 and showcased the release date of it at E3 going forward with December 2018. So it could still be entirely possible that Breath of the Wild 2 could have some sort of explosion very soon around what was E3 time and come forward in stating that the game will be releasing by holiday 2020, as I am still a firm believer that Nintendo needs a huge holiday heavy hitter, and that Breath of the Wild 2 is that. But at the same time, given that everything is happening right now, if we do get a trailer very soon, the end might end off with, 2021. And as I've said before, I'm still a huge advocate and a firm believer in 2020, but at this point, as a Zelda fan, knowing about delays or how long a Zelda game could take between announcement and release, I've come to terms and made peace with 2021. Now, 2022, that's a different story. That's when the rage returns. But the funniest thing about this whole situation is that if Breath of the Wild 2 does get confirmed for 2021, we will never truly know if this was a delay or not, internally that is, because they haven't stepped forward with an official release date publicly as of yet. So that's a whole heap of ammo for that debate. And given the development time of Breath of the Wild 2, thanks to what we know in Creating a Champion, it's been in development for almost 3 years. And thanks to the incredible success of the original Breath of the Wild, and the fact that Zelda is a household name in gaming, and that literally it's getting to the point that everyone and their mothers has a Nintendo Switch, Breath of the Wild 2 would literally be one of those games that promotes itself. Of course, Nintendo's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting themselves when it comes to the promotional tactics and marketing of Breath of the Wild 2, but what I'm saying is that they wouldn't need a lot of time to do it. Well, between that of the official release announcement and the actual release. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to the lack of insight to Nintendo's strategy for the rest of the year and 2021. Although Animal Crossing is selling like hotcakes and we have Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition to still look forward to, the other half of the year is looking pretty dark in terms of keeping us in the dark. As the Super Mario Celebration report has still not been confirmed officially, we're gonna have to wait on word from Nintendo around the time when E3 was supposed to happen. Given how much they relied on it in the past in order to have their next slate of huge news and games moving forward, Nintendo will still make a huge announcement on its plans coming this June. But with that being said, here's a question I pose to you, my fellow Nintendo fans, my fellow Zelda fans. How would you feel, and do you believe Breath of the Wild 2 will be better suited for 2021? Would you rather have it in 2020? Given all of the information and the circumstances that's floating around now, what would be the more logical or desired outlook? Let me know in the comments section below, and be sure to share up the video to keep the conversation going. Hit that like button and subscribe for more Zelda content, which I post every week. And big thanks to my Patreon supporters for making this video happen. If you want to find out how you can support HMK for just $1 a month, please check out my Patreon page. Alright guys, until the next Zelda video, this has been HMK, and I'll check you guys later.